Hi, this is Gadiel Komiselik, Film News, here with the team behind Barge. We've got Dave Schachter and Ben Powell. Guys, how did you come across this story? Like, when did you decide, yeah, we'll jump on a barge and film these guys going from Mississippi to New Orleans? Like, what?
Yeah, it's a good question. It started in 2011. I grew up in Mississippi, so I've always kind of seen the barges and the towboats, and heard stories about people that worked out there, and it just always seemed like something worth kind of going out and exploring. There's obviously a lot of stories that have been told out there, and a lot of history to the river. So it seemed like this story hasn't been told in a while, so may as well take a crack at it.
Austin Film Society comes on board, and they really help y'all get to the next level, I think.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Definitely have to thank them. I put together a little sample reel, went there and shot some interviews on land, originally, and came back to Austin and applied for an Austin Film Society grant. And that was kind of the first money in, and that really kind of gave us the motivation to keep going. It also terrified us a little bit because it's like, oh, actually, we have to make a movie now.
Now it's real.
But that's good. I mean, we wouldn't be here without the Film Society, and the Garrett Scott grant is another one we got along the way, which is out of full frame. So yeah, just those little milestones definitely kind of propelled the story forward for sure.
How did you guys get to know the actual guys on there and their stories and get them to open up? Because these are not necessarily guys that would normally open up.
That's true. I mean, at first it was like, a little bit like, why is this guy out here with a camera? Like, it's such a slow-moving world, and like they're kind of like, this is going to be a boring movie. And I think once we returned with the cameras, it was like, okay, now we actually have to like participate, because these guys aren't going to like leave us alone until they give us a story. So, and that and shooting for 15 hours a day, it was, 14 hours of that is garbage, but that 15th hour, they kind of forget we're there and just kind of do what they do. And we were able to get some really great, kind of intimate stories, just kind of sitting with the guys on the boats and hearing their backgrounds, and where they come from.
And also, I think, being able to look at the footage and figure out exactly, how to approach them on the next shoot and then the next shoot. And I think it was easier for them. They were more comfortable with the camera, but it was easier for Ben in filming them because he had, a more decisive way of approaching them.
What did you guys shoot on?
Canon C300.
Okay, wow. So that's easy. Lightweight, not easy.
Yeah, it's great. We didn't have to bring lights out there. We didn't have to bring a sound guy. We could just throw wireless microphones on them and plug it right into the camera. So yeah, that definitely helped with kind of keeping the profile low.
Plus,
sure.
You're on a moving vessel, and you got to be able to shuffle your feet in case of an emergency, or if you think you're about to lose your balance.
Yeah, or hold on to a barge.
Yeah.
If they're bumping, the bank or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? I mean, that's something you wouldn't think of normally when you're thinking of a film. Like, oh, I might fall into the Mississippi here.
Yeah.
Explain how y'all dealt with that. Like, how did y'all prepare for that, or can you?
Well, you wear a life jacket, and you make sure. A lot of times if we're standing on the edge of a barge, I would have my hand on whoever's shooting, or if I was shooting, I would make sure to like have somebody holding me just in case, because people fall in all the time. I mean, just 2 days ago somebody fell in and they're still looking for him. Like there's a search team out there in Louisiana on the Mississippi, looking for this guy. And, that happens quite often. So we were definitely prepared for any kind of hazards that may come around.
I mean, it's I think people think Mississippi and they think this nostalgic, from books and stuff,
Sure.
but it's a big beast and it's a violent piece of water. It's not something that's easy, and what these guys are doing is not easy.
No.
You guys capture that. What was that like, seeing it firsthand? And yeah, you guys had to be physically ready.
Yeah, I mean these guys are pros. They've been doing it for a while, and I think it's at first they have to kind of go through a rigorous training program to make sure that they're not going to mess something up. And actually, while we were out there, one of the guys did get fired because he wasn't cooperating and doing his job, and you know, it's a huge liability for the company that he's working for. So, you know, he's out of there now, and
Wow.
yeah.
I'm curious. This is also a cross of maybe cultures, generations.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the older guys, the younger guys, where these guys have been. What was that dynamic like? Like just seeing them interact must have been fun.
Sure. I mean, yeah, that's you can probably talk about this too, but you know, there's Colby. You know, there's the kind of the young green deckhand, and he's kind of the, you know, nobody likes that guy on the boat. You know, the older guys think he's worthless. You know, and he's not going to make anything of himself, and so it's interesting to see, you know, the older guys who are like, you know, the younger generation, they're no good. You know, they're not worth a crap. You know.
But then, yeah, when there is a deckhand who is really impressive and earns the respect of the older crew members, they're really excited about that. In fact, one of the oldest members on the boat in the movie, Gale, the engineer, is really excited that this other subject named D'Lo is on the rise, and he's proved himself that he's a hard worker, and he's earned the respect of everybody on the boat. And you know, you can really tell that it makes a huge difference when someone works hard, and you know, the older guys will pay attention to that.
And I was just gonna say, everybody's out there for their own reasons. You know, like Colby, the young kid, he's out there because he wants a truck. You know, like that's his main sort of motivation. And then D'Lo, the guy who's out there, he is fresh out of prison. You know, he was in prison for 10 years for shooting a guy. And this is basically his, you know, second chance. So of course he's going to be out there, you know, proving himself.
You know, Sarah Harris is really championing this. She wrote it in the booklets that everyone gets. She wrote the byline for it, and a real passionate one. She really liked it at South by, was amazed by it, wanted to bring it here. Can you talk about that experience of having a film festival that sees it somewhere else, just loves it, wants to bring it here for us to see?
Sure. Well, you know, Sarah, obviously she loves it because she has family that works out there. You know, her dad is a towboat captain, and you know, when we first talked to her, we were just like, wow, you know, this is a story for her. You know, we made this for people, you know, that may have family out there, you know, may have interest in you know, maritime or river oriented sort of industries. So it's really great to kind of see that come to light, you know, to work on something for 4 years and then have somebody be so, you know, interested in it and passionate about it and want to champion it for us.
And I think also it's just nice to know that the movie has, you know, audiences in different cities, and that while it's appreciated for one thing at South by Southwest, it's appreciated for another thing here, and it was appreciated for, you know, maybe other things at Full Frame, and that's the reason why you bring it to other festivals, and I think that's why they also ask you to, you know, to bring your film to their festival. So,
Well, we appreciate you guys coming here. So thank you guys, and
Thank you.
I hope people enjoy this. I think it'll be, you know, moving for people to see this. Thank you guys.
great.
Thanks for
Thank you
talking
so
with
much.
us.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.